Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Saturday, not quite morning. That's my fault. Welcome to the Four Nations Summer Preview Show. We've got three of our brightest minds and me, who's still reeling from the heat. It is well and truly summer here in the UK and Ireland, and oh my god. If you're watching us on a device, I'm sorry for your sunburn. Welcome Harold, Middlecott, and Rob to our four panels of doom. How you doing, gentlemen?
Yeah, warm.
Yeah, warm. Middlecott, you warm?
I wouldn't say that I'm warm. I'd say I'm hot. And it's too hot, really. This whole global warming thing. Someone really needs to sort that out.
If only there were some people that could do that. I'm not too sure.
No, we'll have a chat about it. I think that's going to be the main focus of the podcast. We might talk about the upcoming Four Nations split, but mostly it's going to be solving climate change, I think.
I think you put these four minds together, I think we could solve anything that's happening in the world right now.
Yeah.
Depending on the time of day, I would agree. If it's evening, nothing's happening.
If it's evening, I want my nap.
I hate having to get up so early at midday.
I definitely didn't stay up fixing one of our meeting VODs so late that I did miss most of the morning. Right.
Here.
You know who we are, mostly. If not, now you do. So, we have each prepared, with the absence of me, because I'm awake now, a tier list for you. But before we do that, who's in the Four Nations this split? We need to talk about it. We've got a big list of teams here. We're going to come back to this later, but this is illustrative for who the teams are and what we're doing. Welcome back, 5IQ, Belfast Storm, Broad and Friends, Paragon, Rise, Gucci, the Bandits, and Venom Crest. You know them from last split. You love them. And coming up from our promo and relegation, welcome Absolved. Formerly, this was DMG UK, last split in the second division, and they've retained their players as well. So if you're familiar with that team, you already know our Absolved roster. And Bulldog Academy, surviving, fighting, never dying. It's a fantastic show. They're back again for summer because they refuse to lose once. Just once. Just at the end. Just to have the fingernail on the cliff.
They're allowed to lose. No one beats a Bulldog like 11 times in a row.
13 times in a row. I think.
He's gone and done the maths. Brutal. Right. We've got these rosters in alphabetical order if you guys have got the sheet open. I suggest we do a quick run through. We're not going to color it too much because we're going to come back to them in your individual tier lists. And then once again, as we do a group one and argue about it and get semantic up in here. So if I read off Absolved, Harold, you do Belfast, and we'll go around our squares.
Round and round.
Because I could not think of a better way to do this at short notice.
We go clockwise. I like that.
Clockwise, are we going?
Yeah.
We'll go clockwise. We'll go around the clock. Clock.
It's like
Right.
we're in school again. It's brilliant.
It is like we're in school again. Audience participation encouraged if you're like a sub or on this roster, like me, my turn, it's me. Absolved start off our alphabetical order and organization I was a part of in 2021. Welcome back. Not that they were in the Four Nations at the time. LCD, which was so much fun. In the top lane, Dog Nappy. In the jungle, Tea Time. In the mid lane, Emil. And in the bot lane, Muta. And supported by Gibble.
Gibble.
I know, he's just a cute little dragon boy. Just let him be. Harold, Belfast.
Belfast Storm coming in with Raider in the top lane, Roulette in the jungle, Limsy in the mid lane, and Fuyu and Little Pants their bot lane pair up.
Man, that's powerful. Rob, Broad.
Broads. They're the same. They haven't changed. It's Akkers, Porp, QQR, Spark, and Zeta. They haven't changed. They refuse to change. England for
Refuse
the
to lose or refuse to change. It's one of the ways.
Yeah.
I don't know what you just said there, Rob, but I think we'll skip over it. And then potentially a prescient statement. We've got Bulldog Academy, the league's resident cockroach, and I mean that as that is a compliment. There is something to be said for sticking around.
They could survive nuclear war.
Yeah. Could survive nuclear Vikings as well. We've got Harry Carey. A Serbian name that I am going to mispronounce. I'm very sorry. Pivolj. I apologize, my friend.
As well as I've done.
Mike, DDD, and Magpie.
All right. First half of our alphabet done. Good. Chi have undergone a little bit of a facelift. Got Loopy in the top lane, Qualsy in the jungle, Kurosh in mid lane, and Morrow and Chompy in the bottom lane.
And then we get over to the finalists from last split, of course. In quick, another team that got a bit of a facelift. It's Kerberos in the top lane, Mr. Tickle in the jungle, Beely in the mid lane, Artorias in the bot lane with Crossfair supporting.
I love Mr. Tickle.
We should say that's
I can see
right?
the Mr. Men book in my mind. His orange arms that are like bigger than the page.
We should say that is Nulty of X-Pro League Div 2 and
he's Mr. Tickle now.
But he is now Mr. Tickle, and I think on cast we will call him Mr. Tickle and not Nulty because I only think that's reasonable. But anyway, we've then got Paragon, who have got a massive facelift and have gone for a full Irish roster. They said it couldn't be done. Madder, Bernie, Zig, Anomaly, and Scrumble from top to bot. And picking up the Team Glorpcat roster from Div 2.
Yeah, and then for Rise Gaming, a little bit of shuffling around, but they've still got that bot lane, which is absolutely dreadful, so not anticipating very much from them. We've got Anarchy, Tweak, BB Muffin, and then Sin and Jamsu sort of dragging them down.
It's like a tale as old as time. It's Four Nations flavored. It's so good. The Bandits are back once again. You'll notice some familiar names. Lars in the top lane joins a returning jungler Lunkifer. Ground in mid lane. Caviampier for AD carry with Awerpies in support. Maybe Awerpies. Hey, maybe that's easier to say.
It's a bot lane that just rolls off the tongue.
And our returning champions, Venom Crest, with a lot of changes. We've got two remaining members from the team that made finals, but it's Refresh in the top lane, Phrase in the jungle, Galul in the mid lane, Chrisberg, and Matthew in the bot lane. Of course, Bust and Air moved up in the world, so...
And Hayes
I
as well.
wonder where we'll see them soon.
Possibly.
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere.
All right. That is the 4 nations, minus substitutes if we see you on the show, because there are some names in substitutes we have seen before. Maybe we'll talk about them in tier list fashion as well, because I think some of us who are sort of close to the teams sort of know some of them are already in on certain weeks, and it's like shared time. So we'll talk about that. We'll argue about tier lists. But gentlemen, while I have been snoozing in like 30-degree prison conditions, I wish for you to show me your creativity. Harold, we're coming to your tier list first. Explain yourself.
Okay. So I went through a bit of a different approach, but I do think this is what these teams are going to achieve this split. So we've got the clear title contenders, which is the Belfast Storm roster. Of course, we talked a lot about this team, and they're bringing in some heavy.
So we've talked a lot about it off air, but viewers will know Belfast Storm as like a perennial 3rd through 6th. What on earth?
Yeah. Well, when you bring in players with the caliber of Raider and Roulette, your chances kind of start skewing towards more of the top end of the table, But right. Raider of
Raiders started off in this league on X7, casted by a certain Middle Scott and myself on the frequent. And I know he's been on to bigger and better things, right, Harold? He's been around the ecosystem.
Yeah, I coached against him in Italy, so I remember for a period of time he is really good. He has all gone to EMEA Masters, of course, many a times. So, it's a pretty big pickup. It probably is going to be our top dog in the top lane throughout the split. The guy to look at.
No pressure is what I'm hearing.
No, absolutely zero pressure is on Fuyu and Little Pants to not in the top side of their split.
All right,
Fuyu and Little Pants inting. Like, that doesn't happen. Surely not.
It depends how many Benny's bits gets in him.
Last time they threw away a finals. Raider wasn't even here yet, but they've both won it since. I'm sure with like the power of the roster around them, the inspiration will be there. We're going to come back to the rest of Belfast on some other tier lists. Harold, when we're talking about dark horses, is that like can maybe snipe the upper bracket? What does that team mean to you?
The dark horse is to me is the teams that, like, depending on the matchups that they get, like going into playoffs, because I do expect all 3 of these teams to make it to playoffs. Depending on their matchups, they have the more 50-50 chance of getting to the final.
Okay.
I feel like all of these teams have a chance to make it to the finals, but of course, there's a tier above it, which is the contenders, and I'm expecting those 2 teams to make it to the finals. But if I had to say a different team other than those 2, I would probably go for one of the dark horse tiers. And and Quick and Venom Crest are finalists from last split. Of course, the teams have changed a lot. They have retained some of their key pieces, but it's a question of can you bring the same level of gameplay quality even with all of these changes? Can you live up to the hype that you built for yourself in the split prior?
Okay, I think that's a pretty safe distinction, and then the rest 2x2 makes it so. Middle cut either shocked or yawning. We can't tell through the medium of video.
No.
So if you are shocked, Middle cut, show me your tier list. Let's move on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at your work.
Well, so mine, I like to think that mine is relatively similar, but like I think right. There's going to be
just a quick eye test there, viewer. Did you notice the slight change?
Relatively right. So I think the big one for me is that I'm putting in Quick in S tier. And I think that, Rob, great, brilliant, excellent. You
It's
can react
alright,
like
it's
that when you've
alright.
actually won something
I get
meaningful.
called Grandpa. I get called Grandpa on this show.
Zoe has done us
You
like
guys
an
let them
absolute
think-
wonder here and actually given us like a through storyline. Rob, you'll have your minute in a moment. Let the old people talk. Me and Middlecop got our canes.
Yes.
We remember Kerberos. We remember Nolly.
I
We remember
remember.
Artorias.
Bro, I've had Chinese food with Beely. Like that guy is he's absolutely lovely. He's great. And I think the big thing about this Incorrect roster, right, is that this is probably the roster with the most proven talent. If you are looking at things completely without putting time into your consideration, right? Curb, Nolte, Beely, Artorias, Prosper. These are all really good players. There is obviously the caveat that I don't know when Beely last played this game. I don't know what Nolte's been doing for a while. Artorias, what's going on? Why are you playing AD carry? There's a lot of questions about this team, but I think why I rate them so highly is that the base level of understanding of the game that these players have had to achieve in order to do what they've done in their careers is going to be extraordinarily high. And League of Legends, it's obviously an ever-changing game with champions coming and going from the meta and random new epic monsters spawning in every week. But I think the core fundamentals of how you play League of Legends haven't really changed. And I think that's where this team is going to be really strong. I think some of their drafts might be a little bit outdated, but ultimately I see these as a group of 5 players that will play the game correctly. And because of that experience they got and because of the natural level that I'm expecting these players to show, I think that they're going to be very, very strong in this league. Don't necessarily know if they're going to be locked in first place right from the get-go, but by the end of the split, I'm expecting to see this team pretty high up there.
All right, so some warm-up may be expected, some acclimatization. But
yeah, well, they all need to remember.
Speed.
They all need to remember what their passwords for to log into the client are. So once that's been sorted, I think they're going to do all right.
Yeah, if you're moving back from WoW, they need to move their F keys down a few rows. You know, we need QWE mouse head again. I think there is. I think you sort of alluded to a serious risk there, where maybe time has gone on and forgotten these players. This isn't without risk. I think Middlecop maybe going for the high roll on your tier list accuracy.
Yeah.
If it happens, everyone else can't compare. But if it doesn't happen, we gotta hope for a fantastic run.
Either I'm stupid or everyone else is. That's the only world I can live in.
He said it in Divide. For your B tier, because we've got probably the upper bracket of playoffs. What separates our Bandits, Rise, and Absolve for you?
So I think they're all coming in with different things, right? As much as I meme on that core of Rise in the bot lane of Sin and Jamsu, I think those guys are incredibly reliable. I've been hearing good things about BB Muffin and Aniki's improvement, but also the way that Tweak has been performing in scrims for them. So there's maybe an argument for me that if I made this tier list again, I'd just push them up into A tier, because I think that it's just a really solid lineup. And yeah, and I think that's something that really can't be undervalued. For Bandits, for me, it just feels like too much of it is on Lunka. And I think the level in the league has risen coming into this split. And when one player is such a key part of it, you can put out fires for a while, but eventually those fires start growing a little bit too big. And how often do we see a single player do really well on the roster and it's not quite enough? I still think there's a strong baseline for the team, but I want to see more. There are a few unknowns as well, but again, and then for Absolved, I think I just rate these guys quite highly. I think that I've seen T-Time play before, and he's quite smart. I've seen Emil play before, and he's a very consistent player. And I don't know if your name's Dognappy, that's got to give me some credence from me. So I think if I was to sort of separate them out, I would probably be going Rise, Bandits, Absolved. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with those.
That's good. I think to touch on Bandits for a second, you'll have noticed when we read out the rosters, everyone at home, that JB Dutchjones is now on the bench. Be that for whatever reason, Ground coming in has got big shoes to fill. I think JB a big part of the way that core works.
Massive part, massive part.
Rob, you've heard us winter on about these names that are like in EU Masters tweets from like years and with like a third digit of 1 for like a while. Show me a tier list. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, we got to zoom out. We got to zoom out.
Okay. They've recolored my tiers, which is very, very sad. But the first one, obviously, this man Pete.
He's not wrong, though. He's not wrong.
Whatever time. And I think that everyone here is really living in the past. We saw Prosfair play in Sunshine Showdown. It wasn't good. We saw Artorias play top lane in Sunshine Showdown. That's his main role, and they didn't do so well. He's now role spot AC. Those two are duoing and struggling in D2 right now. So they're really gonna have
guys, my glory days, as you can see, are past me. Why are you in my elo? Get out.
I didn't know this when I made my
To be fair, if World is anything to go by, D2 can sometimes be like a stress relief sweet spot.
This isn't a Bulls moment, mate. This isn't a Bulls moment. This is
Rob,
this.
I'm really sorry. Do you understand like how a tier list works?
Yes, I do. And this is why the tier list is the absolutely accurate, correct tier list. So the next tier here, you've got Bandits. Lars is back. He's back on his Fiora. But the org clearly believe that Zero UK is the way to go, and the best UK player will be Dutch because their three UK LTR players are all Dutch people. So that's why Bandits is there. Gucci, you've got Loopy in the top lane. Everyone sees him in Urgot, one trick, much deeper champ pool, but the Urgot in jungle, Qualzy, Latvia's literal best jungler. He's a Talon player. Everyone sees him as a Talon player, plays a lot more. In bot lane, Chompy, Tarek, OTP, best Spanish support currently as well. So you've got these 3 one tricks. Does that mean it's enough? You're gonna have to ban all 3 of those every game potentially, and then draft those up.
I don't rate their coach though.
Yeah, I mean, Goldie is, maybe Goldie's not doing so well, but like, I'm only very consistent. And then obviously we see the green teams in more ways than one. You see Venom Crest and Rise; they are just recycling UK talent. Refresh is back in the league. We're seeing Galul back for a little bit here, and then on the Rise they brought Jamsu in from Belfast, and Sin is back, and they brought they keep it a Niki and Behemoth and just keep those players, keep playing the league. You go back to Tempora's glory days, you see them. You see them in those VODs. They've been playing for that long. And then obviously Bulldog and Absolve, they're just happy that Symbol didn't play in relegations, really. It was a 3-horse race, and unfortunately Natives missed out. So, and then Paragon, they're gone full Irish. Said it couldn't be done. They've done it. Respect to that, and they come up from Div 2, and then obviously you see Temporal's noise up. He hates you. Temporal hates you.
Why? I'm not sure.
Fuyu. He despises Fuyu. He talks about how much. Talk about Glory Days again. Like 5 years ago, Fuyu lost 1 game against him, and Temporal never let it go.
Was 5 years ago.
And then on Brod and Friends, he always criminally underrates Brod. He always says, "Oh, these guys, they're not doing so well."
You know what happens when I rate Brod though?
The level of the league has stepped up, and these Brod guys, they're not going to do it. They got third.
They got to have a challenge. They've got to have a challenge. Last time I said Brod are going to walk this, they came 4th or something, and I was so sad.
And like you, Bloxer, everyone else on broadcast is like, ever since since Brod brought since the removal of Govern and his friends, they brought in
back in my day.
In my day,
are they going to be good?
We can't be going back in my day about Brod and Friends. Come on, surely not.
I remember when these young whippersnappers were slinging cabbages.
I remember when their mid laner could play 1 champion. Right?
He can now play.
I love him to bits. I feel this tag might be a bit more about me than anything else, but when I gas up teams I really like, I feel like I curse them. Like the caster curse is like present and lingering and horrible. And I love these players.
So if you could say that Belfast Storm will do really, really well, that would be absolutely excellent for everyone else in the league, because I do actually think they are.
No, I don't know.
Put them on the bottom of your tier list, then.
It's the tier list is all about the vibes, and he doesn't like Fuyu. He hates you, Fuyu. He hates you. He brings it up every time.
I gotta
You're not an
tease
enemies
him.
to lovers arc here, but he hates you. He
But
despises
the lovers arc was 3 years ago.
This is unbelievable. I can't believe this. Hold on. We're meant to do something collaboratively now. We're meant to take
let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Positions. We're gonna have
This is messed up. This is screwed. This is ruined.
Zoe, take me back. Get me out of here. Give me something.
Yeah,
blank.
take it
give me
back
something
so that the
useful.
IQ Ross will actually get to playoffs. Like for some reason, everyone is predicting. Yes, take me back.
Yes.
To be fair, we're recreating a very 2021, 2022 vibe with the tier list of like
narrative document. Like it's not the.
Well, we need a bit more
narrative
narrative
documents
in this
are
league.
harder than rating these players. I think that's pretty fair.
I've done the work for the entire split now, guys. We don't even need that narrative tracker. We could just take the tier list.
We set up the narratives already.
Let me just install the naughty step in the back of my room so I can refer to it on the frequent.
All the naughties. Right. Are we like renaming these tiers to like something appropriate, or are we
I think we can. I think we can.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be part of it.
Yeah.
I think probably what I should have done at the start of the show. Middlecott declared no conflict of interest. Rob,
I'm like assistant to the King Goldie. No, I'm on Good Chi. I'm doing a little bit of coaching here and there for them, a little bit of assistancy stuff. I'm not the head coach as Middlecott seems to be implying every 2 seconds. I'm going to wash my hands of that one, but I am around.
We all know Goldie's just your second personality. Like,
yeah,
come on.
we've never actually seen him.
I've never seen
I haven't
Goldie.
seen you both in the same room. No.
Is Goldie a real person? That could be the topic of the next podcast. Like, does
real?
Goldie actually
Does
exist?
he exist? Is he just a figment of my imagination or one of my split personalities? We will never know.
Well, James McAvoy.
But when Good Chi get finals, you will know.
Yeah,
Because he'll be there.
So,
yeah.
Harold, what are you
mate.
doing this split? Harold, what are you doing?
I'm yapping about the game on this broadcast, and that's about it.
That's about it. Sweet. Not wishing to declare interest on the team. Excellent.
No, I have no affiliation as of yet.
As of yet, wicked. Right.
And if you would like to cause a conflict of interest for Temporal, his PayPal information will be appearing in the chat in just a moment's time.
The worst thing is I think you do have it.
Yeah, I do. So for whatever reason you want
That's what I get for paying you back for that food. What have I done?
Yeah, well, you've opened yourself up to corruption. And the UK
you manage the casters and it corrupts.
For a long time, this sort of league, this governing body, has been untainted by money from unethical sources, Temporal.
From any sources, let's be real.
If you want to contribute,
thank you, Riot
any money
Games. We love you to pieces.
If you want to launder any money, we are here. And
We've finally become a real esports. Never mind.
Oh, it's not NA. Thank you very much. NACL never change. Never change. Oh man, I feel faint. That was quite funny. Please don't sue us. It's all for the band.
And if you are, make sure to sue Temporal first because he's the head honcho. You know, he's the
if we got sued, we'd be on Cheap Esports. Like, let's just appreciate like the sort of social media reach that we could get.
Dom Sacco's gone now, isn't he? So we don't get Dom Sacco anymore. So we'll have to go.
Right, order.
Yes.
The
Sorry,
Right
sir.
Honourable Judge Dom Sacco in court. If we want to change these tier list headings, we gotta have an idea of what we're going in from the start. Because changing halfway is a good way to spend 3 hours on a tier list, like I used to. I feel like we gotta respect history. We have to respect that not everyone chooses the easy path through life, and the Jambo tier must be maintained for people who we respect the struggle, but struggle we fully expect to occur. Right. What else we got? Gents?
C2 crap.
No.
No. Come on.
Could do better. Could do better.
Do better.
Could do better.
Do better.
Yeah.
Okay, we're being constructive today. Okay.
As in, like, we're critiquing the way the roster was built, or like, we'll see you in lower bracket, buddy. Like,
They could do better than Jambo.
I just know it. Who could do better than Jambo? Exactly.
And then B's going to be better than Jambo tier. A is
I hate it because you
absolutely better than Jambo
you
tier.
fully described the
above
uncertainty of
Jambo.
lower bracket teams. This is horrible. I can't even disagree with it. That's fantastic. A for awesome. A for
A for
an-
awesome.
an
Above
appearance in
Jambo.
upper bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like that. We have other senior Four Nations people saying B for Brexit midfield.
Stoke on Trent.
Stoke on Trent, yo,
Yo.
Zoe. This is
Well,
so
he's the
much
goat.
better. I'm so proud of you. lot.
That's excellent. It's perfect.
All right,
Oh,
we're going
oh,
bottom
Lord.
to top because I
Hell
think
yeah.
that sort of gives you like the last tier and like the trepidation a little bit. Jambo tier. I think Bulldog have like shown us the struggle. I'm taking the easy way out. I'm getting that one out of the way.
I don't think anybody would contest with that one. I'm
Not
gonna lie.
at all. I think we got to say I'm not sure if this was true for you guys, and this is more of a thing in card games. Did left to right matter tons for you guys? I think
left
it
to right-
did
left to right
for.
matters. Yeah, left to right.
It didn't
Yeah.
matter for me.
No,
Pretty
I
much
just
didn't
put them on
matter.
randomly and then justified it later.
No, that's all right. That's the
I-
spirit.
I will say about Bulldog quickly, they do have Gallup on the bench.
Yeah.
Gallup has played a lot of comp. Like he played on like Fourth Wall Academy, for example, and he did play in like a lot of other regions.
Did we
So-
cast that guy in London Middlecart? I think we did.
Not Fourth Wall Academy. No.
No, I don't know. I can't
No, it
remember
was
exactly-
full main, wasn't
I'm
it?
trying to remember
Yeah, it's
exactly which
Fourth Wall
roster
main.
he ended up being on, but he is sat on their bench at the moment. He was on like
Hmm.
Unique and Full Clear Esports and stuff. I think Full Clear was in Benelux, if
Oh,
I remember
It's a
correctly.
name I've.
I think so.
So they do have some subs. I just think that they picked up DDD. He's a
Hmm.
high-ish rank. Like I say, he's like 500 LP, but like he struggled on like Inari rosters in Div 2 and stuff, right? So I don't think you can put
Okay.
him above Jambo.
So we're characterizing. It's not identical because I made it sound
Same.
identical, but we're in the same field. We're Bulldog Academy. We've got great expectations to overcome, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's the thing. Like they're low, but I really wish I had a second part to that
Well,
sentence.
they've broken the loss streak.
no.
They've broken the
They
loss
can
streak,
grow.
which-
They've got room. They've got room to
True.
grow.
The streak
It can't
is
go as
reset.
bad as last split.
I mean,
But he can go as bad. He can't go worse, is what you mean.
can't go
Yeah,
worse.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. That's true.
But I think that's just
Nah.
that's just how playing, a round robin kind of works. If you lose every
Well,
single game,
Well, technically, it can go worse because last split they had one win. They can have zero.
They
this
could lose in
split.
relegation. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Jolly wouldn't allow
No,
it.
we believe in it. We
they
believe
brought
in it.
Bloodlust in for relegations. So like they'll bring in I don't know Exafang back off from somewhere or something for
All right,
relegation.
I'm taking the EXO thing. Just like, yeah, but you're still on contract. You do us a huge favor. Goes 20-0. On most of our other tier lists, the next team up was Paragon.
Yeah.
Anyone got a strong feeling? C's, J's? What are we feeling?
It's C or J, isn't it? I mean, it's hard because Glorklat's roster did well in the round robin in Div 2. They got 5 and 7, then bombed out of playoffs, and like it's one of those like pre-built synergy things. But I think that, man, I don't want to stick them any higher than C. I don't think you can, but I don't know if they are. They should be J,
I think they're
maybe.
one step above, but like that step is very short.
You could do left to right matters and put them above Bulldog. Put them on the left of Bulldog in Jambo.
Yeah, my issue with rating them too highly is like on all of the other like rosters, we've got something to hang our coat on. Like there's some element to the team that we can go, okay, I know how good this player is, or I know what this organization like typically does. I think there is just too many unknowns on this Paragon team for us to go, yeah, they're going to be a certain level. I feel like placing them in Jambo tier, more so than it is potentially for Bulldog Academy, is going, show us something. Like, we don't know. We don't have answers for what the level of this team is. So be like
Hmm.
Jambo and sort of surpass your form into something greater.
There's zero pressure on them, right? Like Bulldog, I think there's a
Yeah.
little bit like they need
Yeah.
to show that they aren't going to be in relegations or escape. You know what I mean? Like the old Vertex roster as well. Like they were playing around there. They need to show something. Whereas Paragon, anything they show is like a step up because of the fact that it's a roster from Div 2. It's a full Irish roster that we haven't done before. It's all these things. Like it's proves something, right? And I think that's it's not really an insult to put them there down there that low when we put that kind of like caveat on it where they could prove us wrong. But it's hard to really rate it when you look at the rest of the league. Like, if you just go off of ranks, it's kind of like it's hard to rate them higher than this as well.
Yeah.
It's just difficult.
That's okay. There's sort of my main anchor here is Paragon have done Div 2 to Heroes in the past, and it was hard. And that was a Div 2 team that was very winning. It was Ex Machina. And came up and sort of fought through.
I've heard
and
great things about them.
with slight modifications, you know, it was good.
Also, Mac, he's gone back to basics with his roster kind of building. He's very grassroots in how he often like he's gone obviously, but he went for like the Buttholdy Fast Egg roster. But like prior to that, he picked up the Ex Machina roster from Div 2. Before that, he had like Brody and Free Carrots who are all university players. So he's gone back to his roots of picking up far less known players and trying to get more out of them than going for established talent, which in some ways can work really well, right? Because you go, okay, we know what these guys can do. We don't know what these guys can do. Let's take the unknown because it's a coin flip, but it could come either way.
Shout out Mantle in Twitch chat, one of our league ops, just letting us know that they might have won Div 2 if one of their players didn't choose to go hiking through playoffs. So we'll see if he's come over the mountain. We'll see if they'll come back down. Harold, we got to populate C tier. This is my expectation of either on maybe under attack from our Paragons, maybe a lower bracket run. What is your eye for sticking in here first? Because we've spoken about a Div 2 roster. We've spoken about the ancient talent. Like there's going to be a breadth and a depth to this league in a way that we've seen before, but maybe won't have explored.
I mean, I think this is the like this as of right now. This is the tier where you put Absolved into. Like they you know the DMG roster. Of course, they beat Bulldog in promos, I believe. I need to check. I am not sure, but
they did it. They did in the round robin, but then they beat Natives in the weird bracket.
Yeah, they beat Natives and then Natives lost too. Yeah,
but Natives beat all of them in the round robin. It was like a weird
scenario.
So
they won the seed and lost the position.
Yeah, Natives went 2-0 in the round robin and then flunked out both, and they went 2-1 against. It was all this kind of stuff. It's like a weird.
Yeah, but
sorting out 3 teams is a number.
I do think they're the team that I expect to not like to struggle, but not to the point where we're gonna talk about them going 8th or 9th. Well, 9th or 10th. Well, like it probably is our 8th seed right now. They can show us something. Muter has had an history of being in the upper ERLs, of course, years past, but.
I think he was a mid lane, wasn't he, as well, though? I think he was a mid laner. I think Muter was a mid laner before he was an ADC.
I think he was...
Can't remember which one he played on XL.
He was a mid laner. I'm looking at it here. He's only just swapped to ADC for DMG UK. He was a mid laner. I'm looking at it right now. So, like, it isn't like he has history in that role, necessarily. I think the big
he has experience.
Emil is the big player for Absolved. Played on Lions Creed. I think he's a player that you should really be watching out for because he is, I think, by far and away their best player.
I mean, of course, like they have their like 1 or 2 pieces of firepower, but it's a question of whether the team can, keep up. Because as we were saying, there's a lot of talent that has been brought in for this split on every other team that's currently not ranked in the tier list. So I would say putting Absolved in our C tier as of right now. They could do better. Probably our 8th or 7th seed going into the season.
I think that they might do a little better, and that's okay. Middlecut's just done a quick warp. It's he had to just jump through some hoops, which are just behind him, hidden in the background. I'm leaning a little heavier on Absolved. I think they could potentially do a bit better than that. No, don't let them know you're not Supersonic. Look, I know they disappear when you use them. I know how the lore works.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Absolved sort of. I think the most similar thing to your Herald is I think they are going to end up like in the pack. That has to resolve itself with head-to-heads. Like we're probably going to end up with a blob in the middle, which will include this team. In my mind, it probably also includes Inkwick. Maybe it includes Rise if they take a little while to get going. And it's sort of yeah. It's all right. I have controversial takes. I have medium controversial takes, where it probably also includes Good Chi.
I feel far less crazy when I see tier lists of Inkwick close to the top. I feel when Topor says they're going to be in this group, I completely
no like in the thing in the middle. So I wouldn't have put Absolved in C. So I would probably level that out. I think Inkwick is the hardest to place, because it is going to be the sort of which version of these players do we get? Will it be straight to Stoke? Do not like stop, like collect your £200 and fly around the board, or is it going to be like retirement home?
I mean, so much of their last split was piggybacked off of their jungler.
I was going to say, the lack of Karina is not great.
We really miss Karina.
Yeah, I also think you're like, I don't know, like they don't. Curb last split had a lot of stinker games. Compared to, he had some great games, some amazing games, but I think he had a lot of games where he really struggled in lane. He was being solo killed by like Loopy, got solo killed in promos by Shoosh before the league even started. He had a horrible time against Bust in finals. Obviously, Bust is a phenomenal player. Yeah. He struggled against Akkers. I think this roster lives and dies really enough by their jungle in Nulty, because if Nulty gets back to form, there's a good chance. I know people will say Beely played in 4 years ago. We need to bring this up. Like, he might have been a good player. Things do change. The game does change, and especially when you're playing. Jungle is a game knowledge role, but mid lane is all about, you need to keep your mechanics sharp, need to keep on top of the new champions, need to keep on top of lanes. The minions have changed, for goodness sake, since then. So, like, I think you've got a role swap on ADC. Yusa is a sub, but still, I just think that it's in my opinion, it's disrespectful to all the other rosters to say this team will come back after 5 years away and they're going to make anything close to top 6.
Well, we got to flavor that with like the last time I remember watching Beely, like I passed on their roster as a head coach in calibrations and watched them go undefeated straight into NLC 1. And
when was this?
Yeah, okay, it was 2022, but still.
I think it was 2021 actually when I checked. It
wasn't 21. It wasn't 21. It was like calibration.
No, because I was still. Yeah, it was early 22. It was early 22.
I think the thing for me that almost like caveats that, and I appreciate what you're saying. It's like, I don't know how far the baseline can fall, because the thing about, like, if we take Beely for example, is like he was never incredibly highly ranked in like solo queue, but just his raw fundamentals were so good, and like, yes, the game changes, but it doesn't change that much.
But it's about how much they've played. Like, what I mean is that the game is not. If you sit there and you're hanging around, chilling and playing the game, I'm okay with that. But if you go on their accounts, they aren't literally logging into League of Legends and going onto the Rift. Like Crossfair and Artorias are, Beely is not. Nulty is not. So if they come back and they grind and grind and grind, we saw Curve didn't redo this that last split. Remember, he quit top lane. He moved to mid lane after the changes, and he went with the souls. He went like Aurora and Cho mid, and he didn't really play top lane in solo queue either. So like, if they are playing the game, then I can see it. But if they aren't going to bother, and they're older now, they've got lives, they've got jobs, they've got things that are going on in them, they'd be taking it as serious. Like Inkwick last split didn't take it that seriously, but they had Beezy, who is very, very high challenger mid laner. You had Dragdar, who is a very, very high challenger ADC. Kitten Lee, very, very high challenger support. And then Karina, who was able to slot in and play all these carries for them. I just don't see how it's like, unless they come back and play their game a lot. I know people say like you don't lose it, but you do lose it mechanically over time if you just don't touch the game. Like in these roles, knowledge doesn't really go. But
I gotta split the difference somewhere, because I think you're both quite valid.
No, I've just realised when I was making my tier list, I was wearing these. Oh
He's
no!
got some.
Oh, no.
no, not the rose
Oh
tinted
god! Oh god!
shades.
Oh no! I've made a horrible mistake.
It's hard, right? It's
Yeah.
hard.
I mean, I would put them above Absol, but
Yeah, I think these
it
are
feels
the
like
sort of two teams we're going to see play against each other. And like that will be the proof in the pudding. Is like if InQuick can do it, then I expect them to be consistently able to pull it
Yeah.
out. It's more of a yes or no for
I
middle
think
of the
that
pack. than it
their
is
first
for
game is
anything
going to tell us so much.
It's against Gucci.
It'll tell us very little.
Okay, I was gonna say that let's wait on that one for a little bit, Zoe. Let's not put them there yet. I was also gonna say I also think this roster, if they aren't gonna touch the game at all and they're just gonna rock up for 2 games, 2 game nights a week, I think they could easily lose to Paragon and Bulldog. By the way, I think that it's one of those things where like if Bulldog are putting time into the game and Paragon are putting time, because I've heard from the Mac that this is a roster he sees that is incredibly motivated and they do scrim a lot, they do practice. Those things do matter. Like I don't.
You think this is like a Delta Fox situation then?
Yeah.
Where you've got players coming in that like were at a certain level, but just fundamentally haven't stayed polished enough to keep that.
And I think that it's one where you need to stay on top of like the game. New champions is the big thing to me. The last time do you know how many champions have been released since 2021, 22? Like
too many.
It's too many. Like
They're
do they
all
know?
whack.
Do they play Aurora? Do they play like? Do they play? I'm trying to think of champs that have come out since then because there's so many. Like Ambessa, does they play Ambessa top? It's Querberus, doesn't matter. But like, as in, do they play all these new champions, the new junglers? Do they play like the reworked Skarner, for example? Nolty is the one I have massive faith in this roster. Unsurprisingly, his success came in 2023, so that's more recent. But a lot of these players, like Prosfair, was on Fnatic Academy, but it was like 2019. That's 6 years ago. Like that was before the COVID time. Like
it's Fnatic Academy under a different schemer as well.
Yeah.
In my mind, I kind of want to bump them up to B.
I think they
just
have
to be on the safe
least
side.
Does Sartorius play Aphelios? Savonix has just said it. Does he know what Aphelios does?
Oh,
thought
that is
it was
moving slowly
okay.
back into meta as well.
Aphelios was released in 2020. Like they had a year.
Yeah, but he's only played AD for a little while.
That's what I mean. Is that I feel like there's a lot of things like if you don't keep up with your knowledge on the game, you come back after a number of years and you can watch the game, but play in the game. I've played the game. No, you need to know how it works. You need to understand how the changes to Grubs, the changes to the map, the changes to Atacon. Do they keep up with it at that level?
I agree with you that that's the biggest risk. I think we're gonna slam them in B and move on, and the main anchor is gonna be respect to Nolty and Beely's competitive history, and what I saw from players either in tryouts or in history. With the big slip that that coming apart and the confidence in them moving apart from the pack, which is reflected in our tier list headings. So we are going to stick to the headings. Has to be.
I want to see them do well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like slagging them off. I want them to do well. Like
I don't know. I do a similar talk for Broad and Friends, and apparently they're on minority stuff.
I want them to succeed. I want them to come back to their form. I just don't think they'll come back to their form. That's what I think.
All right, we got one, not necessarily non-believer, but maybe mild doubter. Middlecott, who else do we want to assign to our sort of lower bracket heroes?
I don't want to say it because he'll have a go at me if I do.
That's all right. It's an expectation. If ever any of this offends you, the games haven't happened yet. The games haven't happened yet.
Yeah,
all of this can change.
For me, it's good. It's Gucci. I think I'll give him low B. I'll give him low B.
I'm not sure I would. I think they're straight in there with Absolved, to be honest. I think Absolved could also be in B. Absolved could also be in B in my mind.
How much league has
to collaborate?
How active has Kurosh actually been?
A lot.
Has he noticed that Zed is now picked in the jungle, not in mid?
Yeah, he has scheduled solo queue time every single day. I'm not joking.
Scheduled solo queue.
Scheduled. Like,
But he plans it. That's that you're not talking like you didn't go and look at IntQuick's like bot lane that they were struggling during in D2, yet you're going to say that the Good Cheese roster, which has Loopy, who we know is a very consistent performer in the UKL with a number of champions, Qualsey, who, if you look at his account, he plays a lot of the game. He was like 1100 LP. Kurosh, who was challenger and is still currently like 750 LP. You have Marrow, who we know can do some stuff, and then you've got Chompy, who is like 1100 LP right now, is going to be worse than a bunch of players that don't touch the game. That is a mental
Rob,
statement.
have you ever watched Inside the NBA?
No, because I don't. That's one of those foreign sports, isn't it? So
see, what you'd learn if you watched Inside the NBA. There's a guy called Shaquille O'Neal on there. Maybe you've heard of him. He's got an incredible mind for basketball.
Yeah,
but his opinions are more important to him than the facts.
I want you to go look at chat right now, and you've got opponent teams saying Kurosh won the Norwegian League last bit, and then before that promoted to NLC Div 1 on Rich Gang, and Stammer is saying he's good on Belfast.
Right. So all I'm seeing is like Phrase, a guy that wasn't good enough to get promoted into NLC 1.
He's won the league twice in a row!
Yeah, but and not making that step up, that's a red flag for me. That's saying that there's something lacking in this guy. You know,
to cut Rob's analysis down to size, I've just been through Kurosh's solo queue accounts. We're looking at Masters single-digit LP.
No, it's not.
Shove me his account, and I'll see if it's to be uploaded to our sheet.
And seen the account.
Yeah, he's not there unless I can't spell.
So hold on, Rob. Are you saying that you've been withholding the OPGG accounts of your players from the league? That's quite a serious accusation. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, mate.
That's pretty true, actually. We can sort that one out. I will sort that out. That's not my fault. I think another point out that I'm also.
Oh, there he is. Hang on.
I'm not gonna lie, Rob. You can't go around and like say, "Oh no, these guys are all super high LP," and like these guys are stuck in D2. Fraser is stuck in D2, and he's won the league twice.
No, he's not stuck in D2. He literally he's just not playing the game a little bit, and he's fucking what's the word?
What, so you think Phrase is good, but like Beely, who like hasn't played League of Legends since they introduced Doran's Blade, like you think that
now that you put
that he's gonna have fallen off or something? This is cheating. Rob strikes again. Yes.
Yeah. I
have to correct. I have to correct the record. The OPGG of Kuroshi's main account is not refreshed, so. That isn't in Diamond anymore, and apparently doesn't use OPGG himself. That is currently 711 LP.
Yeah, well,
so it's a little
bit
higher.
Great.
Great. Little bit higher than single digits.
I'm very stupid. Yeah. Beely clears him.
Beely has seen the pearly golden gates. And he will
is he dead?
Sure.
I think
challenger. He's been challenger.
Kurosh has been challenger. What are we saying? More recently as well.
Recently in my mind. I'm not sure if we're on a delay chat, but yeah, I refreshed that OPGG is the right one. Whoops. But no, I got multiple DMs of there we go. Multiple DMs, and we've been linked the DPM, which apparently has been manually updated for us. Yeah. Wicked. Thank you, sequel. Sorry. Right.
I just think it's a bit. It's like it's one of these things where like I can understand. Absolved struggled a little bit in Div 2, like that same roster struggled in Div 2. They snuck into playoffs. And then they made it through playoffs on the lower bracket, right? And I just think that they're still the same players. And when you watch them in the promo relegations, it wasn't clean sailing at all for them. And I think that that's kind of like, it's one where like you're comparing a team that was struggling in Div 2 with like you want proven talent. Kurosh has just won the last 2 splits he played on teams. Like he won Norway, he won the NLC, he won promotion to NLC Div 1. So like
how good is Norway though?
Loopy recently, he was in finals with Bandits in the first split. Yeah, last split. I wouldn't say Loopy was the main problem on Bandits last split. Either. And I think Loopy is very consistent. But Harold can back this up maybe. Loopy is a very consistent performer, has a really good mind for the game as well, I'd say. I don't know, maybe Harold disagree, but I think that it's a disservice. I'm defending this. I didn't defend it. I'm defending it more this time than I did the last tier list we did. Because this is a roster I genuinely think is like, having not seen them, I genuinely like, I don't have, I think that there's a lot here that is to like, weirdly enough.
The last tier list we made, you started yelling with me about stargazing and like he was.
I mean, things happened. Things happened. Things occurred, but I'm being an absolute. I'm showing my bias here. I don't mind not being at the top. I'm just saying. I think it's like crazy to say that a Div 2 roster that's struggled in Div 2 and a team with people that peaked 5 years ago will be better than a roster that's doing a lot now. That's what I think is a bit crazy.
Well, to move on, it took a few extra years for Kurosh to catch up to the achievements of Beely to qualify for NLC 1 and then be immediately booted from your team. A very similar arc for the 2 players, just apart in time. So,
Prospect's coming into chat right now and backing up my point.
With Artorias ADC, No, Middle God's individual tier list can't take this.
No, we can. No. It's no.
It looks like he's read the chat.
What in D4?
Had to leave him.
Thank
you. What do you mean?
Just leave
Abandoned.
Have you reabsorbed him? Is that how it works?
Get Kamara in. I feel like his Ezreal. He plays a few AD carries. He'll do fine. He'll do fine.
Actually, that's actually quite.
Is he can't roll swap to mid lane during a series?
Right. So... Screw it. We'll put Inkquick in Jambo tier.
Slam him down. Get him out of here.
Apparently, if they drafted him in a Jambo in an ADC, they'd do a better job. So, like...
Had to roll
Well, we have an Artorias
Jambo.
I want to thank Prosper. I'll make sure. Give me your PayPal details.
I don't like
I really
this.
appreciate you coming into the chat.
A mockery has been made.
I'll have to get you a beer at LAN. I want to thank you so much for doing that, and I really appreciate it. And once again, the old guard come up as a Tempora. I can understand why you enjoy living in the past. Because these guys are clearly absolutely solid and understand how things are. I really respect that.
I feel like Peeps. We need to move on for this to the next team. But I just want to I'm subscribed to the UKEL. I think.
No,
that's crazy.
No,
and
you aren't.
Am I not?
No. Have you got the chat emotes?
No, I was so worried that I was giving money to Temporal.
Absolutely not.
So I just wanted to make sure that was all fine. Kamara is a UKL champion.
He is.
True. That's true.
But it was in mid lane.
But for Inkquick, it was if you can't beat them, steal them. Well, then not even join them. Just
right. Next team.
Hey, Who is joining that pack in the middle? Rob, we're putting you on the spot.
Venom Crest.
Okay.
Controversial.
No win.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Their best player, the two best players, which really did an huge number for them last year, are gone. Air said, "Listen, Kamira, I know you're on ADC. I'm going to go ADC and I'm going to go smack Dragdar around." Air was everything to this roster. If there is no Air but then Bust on top, I think Bust was final MVP for me. But no Air, no Bust, no win. It's as simple as that. And more importantly, you said about subs. I do know Sak or Nameni should be playing maybe a couple of games with them potentially in the split with Matthew. But I just think this roster, we've seen what Refresh can do. We know what Refresh can do, right? We've seen him enough in the league. We know Phrase, we know Galul. I just think that this roster I think the dynamics are really interesting in terms of how players are going to interact with each other. You know, commitment to the cause, so to speak. How committed they are to. Because last split, they didn't scrim, right? Venom Crest didn't bother. They didn't really care. They're going to have to this split. And how committed are they to coming back? Because I just think that I just don't see it. It's a solid roster. Like, don't get me wrong. If you put this roster like a year ago, you'd be like, it's a really good roster. Like, it's genuinely good. I just don't think it's up there with the rest of them that are competing in the league. I just don't see it. I can't. Sorry, I can't.
I like them being placed next to Good Chi because I think it's a similar thing where like we've had big performances. I think both of these AD carries in Maro and Chrisberg are like excellent and played big parts last split. Chrisberg more so being like the insurance policy after Air and Bust played their game, but he's still there. In the few games where they weren't enough, he was like the final hammer to keep them at that very winning record. But at the same time, it's been a while since we've seen Galula. It's been a while since we've seen Kurosh. And I think those players were active at the same time, but might have like passed each other.
No, they were.
Four Nations. Active at the same time.
Something
So it's an old rivalry. I think we're going to be excited to see them back.
You can't say when you lose the best mid in the league and the best top in the league last split and be like, yeah, they'll be pretty good.
They've dropped from like first and second place to potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
What was NFS doing before they signed Air and Bust? They had the D4G roster and they struggled in that. I just think Air and Bust were just phenomenal. I mean, Air is just a transcendental talent. Like, it was so good for the league.
It's like Jordan Sparks says in the eponymous song No Air, tell me how I'm supposed to win Four Nations with no air. And I think that is going to be the anthem for Venom Crest this split.
To be honest, for Venom Crest, we had a lot of questions also like coming into a split when they lost Rhythm, which we saw as their, you know, their main man to carry them through the game, and it ended up just being Air stepping up, and you know, Bust having a like an excellent split and a fucking great finals. He was the MVP for me and most of the desk, if I recall. We just said, Bust is really just really good at the game.
We put him at the top of our tier list. We put Venom Crest last split at the top of our tier list.
Yeah.
So,
is the middle of the pack enough?
I do think they deserve to be a little bit higher. I do think they still have the pieces to make it work. I do think still having Phrase and somebody like Chrisberg is genuinely excellent. Like, he was one of the players that, in my opinion, like before we had the swap of players in the finals, my first prediction was a 3-2 to Venom Crest, and I thought that was going to be because Chrisberg had shown to me that he is able to just drag this team throughout the game and make it so that when they get to the late game situation, they have this reliable and very, very, very mechanically good AD carry.
So these two teams occupy a similar space in my mind. Middlecott, you're the tiebreaker. Are they going above? Are they going below? It's much of the same place to me.
Yeah, no, I reckon Gucci, like, we need to have them based. Yeah, Gucci, I reckon we need to have them in could do better tier. I think they're fine where they are. It makes sense.
Right, we got to move on. We are rapidly progressing through Saturday afternoon. If Venom Crest and Gucci are building up the bulk of like third, fourth, potentially, but maybe fifth, maybe lower bracket run. Maybe not all the way from the back. Who's next, Harold?
Well, it's got to be Rise, hasn't it? The team has changed jungler. They retained a lot of their players. You know, BB Muffin was my MVP for last split. Probably one of the main reasons that roster did so well throughout the split. You know, dragging them, like as we said, I was saying about Chrisberg earlier. BB Muffin did the same thing for Rise. He dragged them through some of their worst games of the split by just being a really good, fundamentally intelligent mid laner. Like, he just knows how the tempo of the game should be played and what play and what rotation needs to be made for the outcome of the game to go towards your team. Then
Rob, this is a team. No. Rob, this is a team similar to what we saw at a Rise last split, but it's got tweak on it now. Do you think he's going to fit in well?
Yes. Okay, so this is weird enough. But I think that you can speak to the old Rise players about what they thought about their roster last split, and I think that there was a struggle with jungle. And I don't mean this as an insult to Trizzy. I think Trizzy had a very particular way of playing the game. He plays as Inzal, he plays as Diana, he plays as Gwen, he plays as a kid. But he has a very particular style of playing the game. That, and I don't mean this again as an insult, is incredibly selfish. That is how Trizzy should play the game. And I think that when you get to this level, it's harder to implement that, because to play that style, you also need to make sure you have, like, people will punish that style, that very solo queue, selfish style. And I think Tweak as a player should fit in quite well here. I think Jamsu had a rough split last split, so him coming on board, maybe the synergy with Sin will bring it forward. Tweak is a very vocal player. He's someone that I know that Sin has been, when me and Middlecop were sat in the call with him the other day, Sin has been absolutely waxing lyrical about how good Tweak is. He cares. I just think that as it's going to live or die by Tweak BB Muffin. If that dynamic is good, they could be really good, because I think that they could make each other look even better, because Tweak will go and do what BB Muffin says, so to speak. Because BB Muffin is quite a demanding player, we all know that, and I think that it could be very good. It's either BB Muffin Tweak could either crash or burn because of what we know, like those players could do like individually, and like maybe they have a more selfish in their mindset, things go wrong. But if they work together and they combine together and they sort of mesh as one, I think Savonix is just an inch, actually. I think they are very scary, potentially very scary mid-jungle duo. BB Muffin, as Harold said, was exceptional last split, and Tweak, I think Tweak felt the pressure maybe last split to play carries, and this split he's going to be a bit more free to go towards, and he won't be permaban. I feel that was the thing that happened with Tweak a lot last split. There were like 5 bans against Tweak every single game. Every game it was like Nidalee, Vi, Mundo. There was a Zyra ban. And I think maybe there's a bit of space there for him to get stuff, make stuff happen.
I think the only part of this team we haven't touched on, that bot lane. Yeah, we've spoke about old players and spines creaking.
Well, I think the thing is, right, like, when you talk about Sin, like, he really burst onto the scene with X7, like, being, like, fairly widely regarded as, like, the best performing player on that roster at that time, which, considering they had Raider and Anonymous on there, is very high praise. I think he's always been very consistent, and he's actually achieved a fairly high level within the scene. Like, I think he's the only player to have like won a title with both Brod and Friends and Ruddy. And if that doesn't scream quality, then I don't know what
UK
does.
and Irish quality. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it does. Obviously, like, you've got to look at Jamsu. This guy's moves off the rift are significantly better than his moves on it.
We might ask him if we can play the clip of that at some stage on the desk.
But you say the clip. There's several clips, like on multiple occasions. If this guy's within 15 feet of a Madri, then at some point he's going to start doing the worm. And I think like it's weird to like talk.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh no!
Rest in peace.
We've lost the middle call.
We've lost him.
What I would like to say about Sin, he's probably the archetypal UKL ADC. He plays those mostly meta long range carries, poke mid lane priority setting. We've seen him make a few
moves,
make some questionable moves.
He will never live that down. He will never live stepping up in mid lane down ever again. No one. I was going to say, production also cut Middlecop while he was glazing Sin. Like, I actually think there's like an anti-Sin, like
the deflection
narrative.
field.
There's anti-Sin narrative in this league. I thought he was really he was quiet last split. Like he was, but that was because he had BB Muffin and Aniki was a really good top. But in playoffs, I know they struggled. He was the guy against Venom Crest. They should have won that series. If you watch that series back, they should win that series. And Sin was the guy on Smolder and was the guy on Lucian. I think he is still incredibly good.
I'm not denying.
I think he's good. Really good. Nice chap. Work well with Tweak. Loves Tweak.
I'm not denying that Sin is really good. I'm saying that he still has flaws to his game that keep somehow being exploited at around elimination matches. and as such, maybe there's something to be, be looked at throughout the split. But mechanically, he's been really good. It's a question of whether this Rise roster, now that with the addition of Aniki, no, not Aniki, with the addition of Tweak, can make that step up that they couldn't quite make last split. They were close, but they failed at the last hurdle, basically. So it's a question of whether with this change in the jungle, it can be that catalyst to make that step up.
I think it's a huge upgrade. I mean, when I mean by like for competitive, Trezzy needs a very particular team around him. He didn't have that last split. He had a particular play style. It didn't work last split with the team. Tweak is very adaptable. I should sit from my mic. Tweak is a very adaptable player. I think he is a leader. I think he brings a lot in terms of prep. I just think he's someone that the Rise really want to have. And I think if he makes the game easier for BB Muffin, Sin, and Aniki to play, like Aniki was left on a lot of islands last split when he did need some help. And I think that Aniki is a phenomenal player. So we haven't even spoke about Aniki. I think he is an up-and-coming, amazing UK top laner. I just want to say, I genuinely think Aniki is incredibly, incredibly talented and could be a potential superstar in the UK in the future. I'm seriously mean that if you watch how he plays. And I think if he gets the right jungler or right team around him, he could be good. So I'm actually quite high on Rise. I think they could easily make a push for finals this split if everything sticks together. And B Muffin is going to Korea and he's going to come back off a Korean boot camp. And he's going to be the best. He's going to be the best mid.
I'm excited for it. I had a lot of nice things to say about Rise last split. Excited for more, potentially. We're excited once again. Who else is coming through into the upper bracket, but maybe not so confident we are about them having a rainy night in Stoke? Is it going to be Bandits? We've sort of glowed by the Bandits.
I do think it's Bandits. As much as I love the boys,
you think they're in the pack? You think they're down with Gucci and Venom?
I think they're the best third seed that we can ask for.
I actually.
I'm not sure.
I think it's broad. I think it's broad. And as much as I love Gov, I love Nemly. They're my homeboys. I adore all the broad lot. I love those guys. I think Bandits' roster is like low-key very good. They took a game off of the Rich in Nexus Showdown. It was a slightly worse Rich Gang roster. They didn't have the House in mid. They had Squiggly. But
there he is.
He's back, but the Bandits roster. This Bandits roster took a game off of the 4 of the 5 Rich Gang roster that are going to play an NLC Div 1. I know, obviously, you can take a game on any day, but I think that Lars has been grinding solo queue. There are questions about
currently the highest rated player in this league.
Yeah, Lars is good, and Lunkerfer, if he has winning lanes. And my biggest question is ground. Weirdly enough, everyone else I don't have that many questions for because I think if they're playing the game, it's alright. I have questions about ground. That's the one I have questions about. Because he's a Vayne top player. He's a Vayne top.
I'm not denying that the roster is good. It might be a bit of a situation where everybody wants resources on this roster though. They're gonna Lars, the historically carry top laner, Fiora.
Hello, middle court.
Fiora, the Jax, all of those, more carry oriented champions. And then we go to mid lane ground. Of course, you said role swap top laner going mid lane. Probably going to take a bit of a backstep this split, but still, mid lane does, require some resource, get around the map, facilitate every other lane. And then Kavya in the bot lane. When this is using a degree of internal information, but not enough to expose anything. When we are having discussions internally, when he was a sub on the roster, he is very much more towards those lane dominant picks. And as such, I do wonder if this team, with having a player such as Lunkerfer in the jungle, which is very, very much more geared towards playing for himself and his own personal lead, and then transitioning that into team fights and bringing more firepower into the team fight to then swing the game into the team's favor. I wonder if you're going to have too many mouths to feed.
I just think it depends on the support. He's coming from hit point. a Whoopsis. I'm not too sure what his level is at the moment. I have to see him play. I haven't seen very much of him. Ground, someone's in chat said it again. He's subscribed to Vigar V2, but he is mostly a Vayne player, like mostly a Vayne top player. So I don't know how that's going to work out in mid. That's the biggest thing. If Ground steps up, it's a very strong roster, right? In my opinion, because you've got Lars, Lunkever, they are going to be able to do... Like, Lunkever has played facilitators. He's played, like, facilitators. He's played, like, Wukong and stuff as well. He's not just a regular carry player. But, like, I think that... I just think that it depends on what Ground does, because if mid is not stacked, not necessarily, like, there's not air in this split, but you still have BB Muffin, you've got Galul, you've
Beely.
got Kurosh, you've got Beely, you've got Emil, you've got QQR, you've got Limsey. These are all
the best QQR has looked in a long time, I think.
Yeah.
I've been a doubter for a long time, and by God, the playoffs run was saved.
Yeah, and I just think that it's one where if Ground is good, like does step up, then this roster's very good, because it fills a hole in mid where, like, if Ground struggles, then Lunkever struggles, and then the other sides of the map struggle. But if Ground doesn't struggle, Lars, we know, like, you have to ban out Fiora every game. He will just beat every player in top on Fiora. No joke. He will just maybe not Raider, but nearly every other player has to be worried about that. And then in we don't know what the support side. We know what Lunkever can do. I just think it's a really solid roster. I also think that Lars is the big thing for me. I think this guy is incredible. So
he's destroyed the league once, and he's definitely back for revenge.
And he was
I'm so excited for, like, the Lars Raider, like, matchups. Like,
That's gonna be
Sparks
a good
will
one.
absolutely fly.
That
Do you
is
think above Rise or about Rise?
Above.
above us.
Because I'm seeing both A and B in my mind are like left to right does not matter. So
I have him
much for
above
these.
Rise. I have him
I-
above Rise.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much movement. I think the unknowns is the big question. And well, generally unknowns do tend to be questions.
Usually.
Usually.
If it's like certainly unknown, that's that's odd.
And to be honest, like, whilst I did rate the Bandits low because of those unknowns, there is a bit of an element of, well, they're not going to get bad players in, you know. Like, this is a team that is aiming for the top of the table, that has been there before, and I think really wants to get there again. So whilst we don't know much about these players, I think there is a tacit assumption that we can make, is that they're not going to be Bulldog Academy tier. If we want to put it in more concrete terms,
Instead of like expectations are that you like have to do a lot of work to make sort of anything come true. It's like these teams have great expectations, and if you don't live up to it, that's more of the surprise.
Yeah.
You know, big things from our boys. Right. I see two teams, and I see an empty tier for a rainy night on Stoke-on-Trent, in Stoke-on-Trent, on an unconfirmed date, at an unconfirmed place. Are these two teams going straight in there for everyone, or is one making a quick trip through A?
I think there's one foreigner, but the problem is here, man, Gov was going to PayPal me to put them on top. No, I was going to... After you left, we went through everything, Middlecott, and he offered... No, I'm joking, he didn't pay me anything.
He offered you money?
He offered me, but money's apparently flown around a little bit more in the league this split, so I thought maybe I'd try and step up.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
Belfast should just be the best team. I don't want to hear any other... I mean, I want to be like, you know, Brod on top, feeling Broddy, but Belfast's roster is... Little Pants is back playing the game. He very quickly got up to 800, 900 LP. He's actually bothering Mitch. You know, he's not lying around.
I don't.
I
can't trust that bot lane, man.
It's so hard, right? Yeah,
they're so wacky. They do weird things. like being in calls where they've been like talking about drafts. It's just like, Little Pants has this infuriating ability to be very good at the game while seemingly like not giving a shit. It's
really frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
When he plays Alistair, he makes it look like a single-player game sometimes. He's just walking around doing what he wants to do on the Rift. And you're like, how do you get to... I can't do this. My bot laner will run it down if I leave him for 2 seconds. Like, how have you done this?
Yeah. I remember watching VODs of, like, I Will Dominate doing, like, streaming EUS solo queue with some, like, tournament coming around. And you've got all, like, these Korean and Chinese pros, and you've got Dribbles Drew wandering around. Like, it's just I don't get it. I don't understand. They're probably going to be the best team. They just are.
I mean, my question is Limsey, because we know that Limsey has had some health issues and also had wrist issues, right? I think it was.
In the past,
headphone cable has been run over in the past, and that's why he hasn't played full splits for a while. Like, he didn't play a full split when Vixen was playing, right? And he didn't play a full split last split because they had Wicked in. So is Limsey I assume if Limsey's healthy and Limsey's good and he's feeling it, then it should be good, because Limsey has looked really consistently decent in the UKEL when he's come in the last few splits. And then the same questions about bot lane, right? Bot lane is like what Fuyu little pants are we getting? But Fuyu can step up. And then what can we say about the top side? It's Raider Roulette. Like, they should be they're TCL level. They're TCL level players. Like, Raider was playing with Agarin's team, or was a sub for Agarin's team. Like, they are above maybe the level they should be in the league. That's not saying that.
How has he ended up here?
How
has he ended up here?
Machinations and such.
There's devious dealings going on in Belfast at the moment.
Yes.
We should probably talk about Brod as well, shouldn't we? We just popped Brod in there, but we should probably discuss Brod, because otherwise you'll get some angry DMs from...
I think sort of the second place speaks for itself. Like, I expect they're going to have a very good split. I noticed...
The unchanged roster, which, the last split, we did make a lot of consideration about, Bandits having the same roster. We thought they could, maintain quality, pre-built synergy. And then stuff happened. And that's what I'm gonna leave it at. But
Spark is just so good.
Spark
is a demon.
We have questions about Belfast's bot lane. We do not have any questions about Brod's bot lane.
No, genuinely, like, sometimes, like, any of you watching, like, you should just jump into, like, a Brod and Friends, like, watch party when, like, they're losing a game. Like, they'll be down, like, 5k. Spark will be on Kaiser. He'll be like 13-3 or something, doing everything. He'll get to like a 35-minute team fight. Everyone will die, and this guy will just turn up, and it'll like Michael Jackson level movement. Like, he's moonwalking through these team fights. It's ridiculous.
We've shown
Jackson on the floor and Jordan in the court.
How many times have we shown the clip?
Yeah, the clip versus Gucci
arc fight
has been played on this stream about 500 times. Every stream, they're like, "What clip do we need for Brod today?" Oh, what about the Spark clip versus Gucci? That one, we'll just slot that one in there again. It's always like, Spark is phenomenal. Zeta really stepped up. I had concerns about in support. If he is support, then that's. Because I know Akkers has been playing some support in solo queue.
No, they're playing with Akkers top.
There was a version that I saw where Akkers was in support, but it's no longer.
Zeta really stepped up over the split. I didn't think he looked that good early on, but then really, really improved. QQR improved over the split. Porp leads the line, and then Akkers, I think, also had a decent split as well. Hopefully we see Brod live, because then we get all the cheers for Brod. It's hard, right? Because it's one where, like, they've stayed the same, and we said that about. I mean, I remember you two on the desk there. I was worried about. I said we kept the Bandits on top 2 last bit, and I remember on that show being like, I think that's disrespectful. And I think they'll do a lot worse. I think Brod, however, this team are proven. These are proven UK players for the last couple of years, and I think they'll come in with prep. They've got a deep bench, although I don't know how many play. They picked up Smee. He's on the bench. You've got Bear Tree on the bench. You've got good old Bendy Beast on the bench himself.
That's crisis.
Beast on the bench. I just think that they've got a lot of things going for them.
And you've just not mentioned Bear Tree at all.
I just said Bear Tree.
Did you say Bear Tree? Okay.
Didn't mention legendary player Gweggers.
You didn't.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Gweggers.
I think this is the thing. Like, Brod and Friends, like, this deep bench means that when they're entering sort of cup competitions, You can sort of rotate players out, and you can. And quite often, what happens to a club is like a European journey will hurt their domestic performance, and I don't think that's really an issue with Brod and Friends this time around.
They don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
I think they should do well. I hope they do. I think there's a lot of competition for them, though, because I think if they stay stagnant, I think there's a number of teams behind them that could really show them up. They need to keep playing. Like, Torp and QQR, well, Torp takes some breaks from solo queue sometimes. So has Zeta. They need to get back on the grind. Because if they are warmed up, they should do well.
I think potential complacency has been the downfall of Brod in the past. I know that they will turn up to splits and go, yeah, we're going to absolutely crush this. And then they don't. And that can be quite...
Scrim.
Yeah,
scrim, fellas, scrim.
Like, just please, guys. I really want to go to Atlanta and see you there. But yeah, I think
I want to see, not because his interviews aren't fantastic, they are fantastic. I want to see Gov like drop his camera and microphone and just like rip his shirt off to reveal like a new jersey, and it's like limited edition finals, and he's ready to go in manager mode, and all the Brod people are there. That'd be fantastic.
Well, I'm sure Gov ripping off his shirt for you can be arranged temporal. We'll get people on that. I'm fairly happy with what we've come up in terms of this list. I think there's always going to be room for movement for teams based on how the split goes, but I suppose that's why we make the tier list at the start of the split, so we can set our expectations and go, very easy at the end. Very easy at the end.
So easy. All right, closing thoughts, Rob. Let's lead.
I'm happy that we've seen the light on Inkquick. I want to praise all of you for finally coming to the true belief that passage of time hurts us all, and as much as you wish you could turn back time, you can't. And I'm very happy with that. And Gucci should be higher in my opinion, but that's because I'm biased.
Harold.
I do think we should move Inkquick a little bit higher, at least.
No.
I think they've earned their like time capsule rating that is like so abstract and different from the rest of the list.
Actually, try to do you a favor, Rob. If we put them that low, then they'll have the spirit of vengeance to just beat everybody.
I'm a player-led coach, and Prosfair has come in and said that his team is not going to do well. And so I think that if you're not listening, and this maybe, I know you coached last bit, and maybe this is where the downfall of the Bandits happened, but you need to listen to your players and understand what they're saying to you. And if they are coming into the chat and saying, we should be at like 10th, you should listen to that, take that on board, process that, and then mediate.
Yeah, but then you didn't see Kerberos coming into the chat and saying, oh, I see that we're already ranked.
But every team has that one ego player that thinks they're better than they are. But you need to listen to your...
Are you saying that Kerberos is not good?
Bus showed him up. Have you the Nar game?
No, Rob. I need to query this. So, like, what I'm extrapolating from this position is if you come into a team, haven't met the roster before, come in and they all go, we reckon we're going to finish 10th. You're like, yep, no, I agree, lads. Right, let's get that.
What I was saying is
let's get that wooden spoon, guys.
You need to listen to your players and then mediate discussion and then bring that confidence back up again. You've got to start at the level your players believe you're at, rather than sitting there and coming in and be like, come on, guys, we can do this. If you were the coach of, I don't know, if you came in here as the coach of Inkquick or the coach of Bulldog, you're not going to go look at Raider and Roulette on the other team and be like, yeah, we're going to smack those kids around. Like, that's going to be easy. Like, that's overconfident. You need to come in and make a good environment.
I don't think we said they're going to beat those teams, but like, I don't think
middle cut as the biggest question on the day remains: will our old heads live up to like the talent of today? What are your thoughts on our tier list?
Well, actually, interesting. Rob came to me before this podcast and said that he was just going to lie about everything and try and mislead the league as much as possible. So, yeah, I'm glad that we've got sort of the tier list conforming to his expectations for how everything is going to go. If it's wrong in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to use that and weaponize that in gameplay discussions with him for years to come. So, yeah, I'm very happy with the tier list.
It's been a pleasure with you all. I'm excited. I'm hoping, just the old head in me, the aged bias, that we see a fantastic show from 5IQ and they will magically teleport to like 900 LP, because if they are washed, I am under the sea.
I'm really
This has been a
worried.
Four Nations for UKL production. Casually Cutie has been behind the scenes. Our faces have been on the screen. These games haven't happened yet. And if you want to know how wrong we were, you're going to have to tune in on Monday, 6-ish p.m. UK. No, 6:30 UK. There we go. It is the summer. 6:30 UK on Monday, the 14th of July, as our regular season gets underway, and we get to show you all that these fantastic teams have to offer. We'll see you next time.